Yes,
waiting
yes.
for you to allow me
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. Wait, wait, wait.
Yes, I am waiting for your cue.
Don't worry, don't worry. Wait.
Ma'am, done.
Please
Oh,
check.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Now it's
good
okay?
afternoon.
Mr.
Yes,
Jiang, now it's okay?
everything is okay.
Yes, okay.
Okay. Lina, you can share your PPT, check it.
Sure.
Good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon,
sir.
everyone.
Sir, host disable participant screen sharing.
Okay, okay. That is why we are, Mr. Jiang, start to check.
Sir, you can able to remove your stop sharing, then only I can
Okay,
upload
then.
it.
Okay, okay, then. Okay. Later. Okay.
Good morning, sir. Good afternoon.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you, Dr. Lina?
I'm
How is
fine.
everyone?
Thank
My
you.
apologies for logging in too early. So
Yeah.
it is about 6:30 in Kuala Lumpur time. So I am a bit it's 6:30 in Kuala Lumpur time, and we are asked to go back home because
So
by 6 o'clock the
6:30.
university is closed.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. PM. Is it 6:30 PM?
6:30 p.m. Yes.
Yeah.
So everyone has been advised to go back because our working hours during the lockdown is until 6 o'clock only.
Yeah. I've been in Kuala Lumpur in 2010.
2010. That is very long. You must come and visit us again, Dr. Burhan.
Yeah, I've
we
been
have
there.
we have transformed tremendously.
Mr.
We
John,
Okay.
are yes.
I worked in Negri Simbali and Mantin from
Oh,
2008 to 2015.
oh, you must come again. Also, you also must come again.
Yeah. Actually, Dr. Zhang, I have very, very good friend who was living in Sabah. We had together master's degree University of Reading in
Yes,
1993 and 1994. So I
yes,
visited him also, but now he moved to New Zealand. Now he is living in New Zealand.
yes. I am familiar with all the places that you have mentioned.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to do a lot of projects together. Environmental sustainability, and also I did one project, a green technology transfer, and I have to present it in Parliament.
Yeah. So are
Yes,
they living in Kuala Lumpur or
yes,
in
yes.
Sabah?
We are in
Kuala
Kuala
Lumpur.
Lumpur. Yes,
I
Kuala Lumpur.
see. Yeah.
We
I
have
spent one.
we are now having MCO number 3. We cannot go out within 10 kilometers
Yeah. I
from our
stayed at a
house.
hotel just opposite of your big tower, you know. I
Yes,
stayed at that hotel.
are you referring to the world tallest building, KLCC, Petronas Twin
KLCC.
Tower?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Professor Buran, shall we start?
Shall we start? I am waiting for the chair lady, the beautiful
Wait,
chair
wait,
lady
wait,
to allow
wait,
me.
wait. Okay. Here is Astha Gupta again today, our moderator. So I would like to welcome Miss Astha Gupta, student of Management Department, Technical Institute of Advanced Study, New Delhi, India. So Astha, please proceed.
Thank you for the warm welcome, Rishmi ma'am. So, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, according to your respective time zones, everyone. I hope you all are well, staying safe and healthy. Today, I, Astha Gupta, warmly welcome you all to the 15th day of the UN Sustainable Development Goal event. I would like to thank Dr. Rashmi Gujarati ma'am for giving me this opportunity to moderate on this platform. Today, we will be having a discussion on the 15th goal, that is life on land, and for the same, we have 2 speaker sessions and 3 student paper presentations. Let me introduce our eminent judges for today. Professor Jeong, he is an advisor, supervisor, lecturer at Management and Science University, and Dr. Lina Janefa, associate professor at Welltech University, Chennai, India. So, without any delay, let's start with the event. I would like to invite Professor Jeong first. He is an advisor, supervisor, and lecturer at Management and Science University. He obtained his Master of Laws from National University of Singapore. He currently holds an PhD from University Malaya. We warmly welcome you, sir. The platform is all yours.
Thank you to the moderator. It's good to be moderated by someone who is knowledgeable in the field of technology and in the field of sustainable development. Secondly, I would like to thank Dr. Rashmi Gujarati for the invitation. I would also like to thank my good colleague, Dr. Ahmad, for his previous invitation as well. Although, however busy I was, it would be my great pleasure to present a short 30 minutes talk, a sharing of experience from the Malaysian perspective. I understand that, and also I would like to thank the organizing committee for a great show so far that I have participated from day one until today. I understand that I am given only 30 minutes, so I will finish my presentation in 20 minutes and open the floor for 5 minutes question and answer. I will now share with you my slide. I hope you can see my slide shortly. Okay, I have shared my slide. Can you confirm that you can see my slide?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
All right. Let me start the show. Our talk show today would be on Sustainable Development Goal number 15. Now, as we are aware, what is Sustainable Goal 15? I will not take a lecturing time to tell you what is Sustainable Goal, but I will summarize for everyone's knowledge from a practical point of view. What is goal number 15? Now, goal number 15 is part of the 17th goal. This is a big dream by the United Nations. Now, this is a dream that we are all sharing. We are all dreaming the same dream, right? We are all dreaming the same dream. I call it the big dream of the 21st century. Now, I am not going, now even Martin Luther King had a dream as well, right? In 1963, he also has a dream, Martin Luther King. And Mahatma Gandhi also had a dream. So we are all having the same dream. Our dream today is the United Nations Dream Sustainable Development 17 Goal. Now, I am not going to talk about this big dream. I'm not going to tell you dream 1, dream 2, and dream 3. I will only focus on one part of this big dream. That is called goal number 15, right? Malaysian approach in today's talk show, right? So my focus today is only on goal 15. Okay, so that is the storyboard for today. Yeah. Now, the title that I would like to share with you is Success Story, Issue and Challenges from the Malaysian Case Study. So we are not going to go to too many countries. We are not going to go to America, Europe, France. We are now going to Malaysia, and I'm going to share with you the success story of Malaysia in implementing this dream goal number 15, 1-5. Now, first, as a matter of basic, what is goal 15? Goal 15 is basically, it talks about life on land, our life on planet Earth, okay? Now, goal 15 is about 3 objectives: to protect, to restore, and to promote sustainable use of the earth, the world ecosystem, and to manage them properly, to avoid deforestation and to combat desertification. All right. So this is the three objective under goal 15. So let us remember this objective, goal 15. Now, what is the objective of goal 15? There are three there: to protect, to restore, to promote sustainable use. This is what we need to know, all right? So I hope we can remember this goal 15 is about to protect, to restore, promote sustainable use of the earth ecosystem and to manage them in a sustainable manner to address the problem of forest deforestation and desertification. So where do we start with goal 15? Very simple. Yeah? What you will gain after attending this talk show? Number one, you will bring back home what is your understanding of goal 15. And you will appreciate what is the objective of goal 15. And you will appreciate and understand the case study Malaysian best practice. And also together we will develop better implementation for the year until 20 and 30. Okay, next. Now, under goal 15, we have 12 targets with 14 indicators, right? So the 12 targets are there. It talks about biodiversity, it talks about forest. I will not give you a lecture on this. I will summarize it in a practical manner. These 12 targets and 14 indicators is summarized in the next slide for you. Okay, so there are only three main problems under goal 15, right? So this is the three main problems here. So 12 targets and 14 indicators. So what does goal 15 talks about with all these 12 targets and 14 targets is a very simple story. I have summarized it for your understanding, right? So in a taxi driver explanation, we have 12 targets for us to work until year 2030. And we have 14 indicators to find out whether we have complied with the 12 targets and how do we assess them. So what is this G15? What is the problem that deal with G15? The next slide will explain to you very clearly. Okay, now goal 15 has three big problems, right? The first problem is about, can you see the photo? About the land that we are lost. We have lost our land. Now the land is lost due to drought. There's no water. And due to desertification. Desertification is a process where the desert come into the city. All right, so that's called number one. We have a problem. The first problem is a problem relating to desert, right? Desert. The second problem under G15 is our forest. We are running out of forest in India, in Indonesia, all over the world. In Brazil, we are running out of forest. We do not have enough forest. So that is the second problem we are having. That is called deforestation. Not only us, but the animals. What is the third problem? The third problem of G15 is about biodiversity. It deals with the animals in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, in South Africa, in Uganda, right? Example is rhino and elephant. We're talking about biodiversity that we are losing. So these are the three main problems that we can learn from G15. All right, so this is the three practical big problem. Everyone, you got the point? So three big problem. Now, how do we, Malaysia, implement goal 15, right? I will share with you the Malaysian experience. Now, the G15 document is not binding. However, Malaysia is serious in implementing all the 17 goal, total goal 17. But we will not go into all the 17 goal. We will focus only on goal 15. Now, Malaysia has already complied before the agenda 2030. We have the Millennium Development Goal. And so we have already implemented them accordingly. So what did we do? Let me share with you the successful story. Yeah? All right. Now, G15 in Malaysia, how Malaysia implement them is Malaysia recognize them within national development. We follow the Sustainable Development Model, Agenda 20 and 30. So how do we implement them? How do we comply with the Goal 15? Malaysia, through the Prime Minister Department, we have a special unit called the Economic Planning Unit. And with this Economic Planning Unit, we have made it we have promote G15 throughout national development. The next page will share with you the mapping of the implementation. Okay, G15 in Malaysia, if you look at this G15, we implement them through the National Council, the Steering Council, and then we break them down into the working committee for each type of goal. Goal 1, goal 2, goal 10, goal 5, and so on. So this is the mapping of the Sustainable Development Goal governance in Malaysia. I will not go through the details. You can read it later. Yeah. Now, our mapping, what we did is we align national development according to G15. Our topic today is G15. So we map them according to national development at both federal and at both local government. Now, how do we implement them at both federal and the local government? Is by implementing them using the big master plan. This big master plan is called the Malaysian Plan number 11. Number 11, Malaysian Plan from 2016 until 2020. Now, in the 11 Malaysian Plan, we have a compliance review. We review how we implement Goal 15. And we have implemented them also in the next coming, the 12th Malaysian Plan. That is 2021 until 2025. And also, we will implement them according to the 13th Malaysian Plan until the year 2030. So what have we done? Right, you are talking about implementing. So show us, what did Malaysia do? Show us the proof. The next page is the proof of what we have done. Yeah. All right. So now we have the 11 Malaysian Plan. Now in the 11 Malaysian Plan, we have mapped. We have done mapping for the Sustainable Development Goal, including goal number 15. So we can see this in Exhibit 2 and Exhibit 3. In the next slide, which I will share with you. So in Exhibit 2, you can see that Goal 15 comes under green growth, under the driver green growth. And also you can see Goal 15 under economic growth, re-engineering, also under Goal 15, yeah, right, under Goal 15. Okay, here, right. So you can see the mapping of the 11 Malaysian Plan. We map them accordingly, right. The first one here, we call them enhancing inclusiveness, and then we have all the Sustainable Development Goal. Improving well-being, we have all the Sustainable Development Goal. My apologies for that, because I need to zoom in to show you. Right, and then we also have the green growth. We also have the infrastructure, and you can see in the economic growth, we have G15, right, the one marked in red arrow, and also in the green growth industry, we have also Sustainable Goal 15. So Goal 15, you can see in the two pillars there. Number 1, green growth, and number 2, in the economic growth. So these are the two areas where we are focusing on G15, yeah, on G15. So the rest of the goal I explained in the different driver. So today I will only show you G15 according to the red arrow. Okay, Exhibit 3 also will explain to you how we implement them in the midterm review. Pillar 1, Pillar 2, Pillar 3, 4, and 5. So you can see in Pillar number 5, enhancing environmental sustainability through the green growth. We have 3 priority areas and 9 strategic. One of them is green, is G15. Okay, life on Earth. And also we have pillar number 6. How do we strengthen the economic growth? We have 3 areas. and we have 13 strategy. One of them is G15. You can see in the red arrow that I have marked here. So this is the success story that we have implemented them within our national master plan. Okay, in our national master plan. All right. So, so what is the, sorry, because I have to admit all of this, so it is a bit disturbing me. All right. So what is the good story? After talking about all this master plan and so on, now this is the shining example that I would like to share with everyone on G15. Right, as of 2015, Malaysia has maintained more than 50% of forest cover, and also 10% of them are protected, 1% protected in the marine area, and our carbon intensity, carbon footprint has been reduced by 33% since 2009, right, from the Millennium Development Goal. And we have also increased our renewable energy. So this is a good example, a shining example that I would like to share with everyone. And perhaps we can do a comparative with Turkey, with India, and see how we can further improve, right? I have also done a competitive SWOT. What are the threats and the barrier in implementing, in the implementation and compliance? Because I'm not going to tell you all the good story. So where is the ugly story? Where is the weakness? Where is the gap? Where is the problem? So I'm going to share with you a little bit about the problem before we go for question and answer. Now, what is our main problem or weakness is that we have a problem in our structural plan. We have different interests between the federal structural plan and the local government. Sometimes there can be conflict, and this will create some implementing problem, right? So we have structural plan as one of our threat or weakness. Number two, we also have problem in private and public cooperation in implementing the G15. Example, we have environmental damage. We also have toxic pollution. We have hazardous waste. This is coming from the private sector. So we have to increase enforcement and compliance in that area. So that can be also a problem for us to implement, to achieve the G15. The third problem is we have enforcement on the ground, right? So we have also different enforcement in terms of the federal department, Department of Environment, and also the local authorities. We call them the Majlis. So these are the three threats and barriers in the SWOT analysis that I share with you that could prevent us from achieving 100% in the G15 accomplishment, right? So we hope to overcome this threat and barrier very soon in the next plan. All right, so I believe I have already shared with you the story, our success story, our weakness through the SWOT analysis, and also the challenges that we face. So these are some of the gap that we hope to resolve in the 12th and also the 13th Malaysian plan. And so far, this is a good story that I can share with you from the Malaysian perspective. Perhaps we can also learn from India. We can also learn from Turkey, right? And how they implement, how do they evaluate and assess their compliance towards all the goals that they have committed under the United Nations. I hereby open the floor for 5-minute question and answer. If there is any question, I would like to answer them. The floor is back to the chair lady and the moderator. Thank you.
Asta?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Burhan? Is there any
Thank you very
question
much.
from the floor?
Asta, please. Yeah. It was a nice presentation. Asta, please go on.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening presentation. Next, we have with us Dr. Lina Janefa, Associate Professor at Welltech University, Chennai, India. She has done her PhD in Management from Sundarnaran University, India, and she is a member of various boards and committees as well. We welcome you, ma'am. The platform is all yours. Thank you.
Can you able to see my slide?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, each and everyone. I'm Dr. Leena, working as an associate professor in very esteemed university called as Veltech Rangarajan, Dr. Shakuntala R&D Institute of Science and Technology, Avadi, Chennai. So we are having lot of classes going on. It is like engineering, then management, then commerce, and even we are teaching in graduate level as well as post graduation level and in PhD level. Okay, welcome to this platform. First of all, I like to thank Tradepreneur organization to provide me an opportunity to give this speech on life on land. Welcome you. Thank you for giving an opportunity. First one, preserving diverse form of land on required targets effort to promote or restore and promote the conservation and sustainable use of terrestrial other ecosystem. That is the main thing. So that is the, one second, it is moving, one second. Okay, so now it is clear. So it is mainly talking about the land, life on land, how we can able to preserve for our future. So goal 15 mainly focus specifically on managing forest sustainably, halting, reversing the land and natural habitat degradation, successfully combating desertification and stopping biodiversity loss. All this effort combined aim to ensure the benefit of land-based ecosystem that is called a sustainable livelihood. Well, we can able to, if we are going to follow all this thing, definitely we can able to enjoy this environment. So I'm going to explain one by one. There are 12 targets to create action to protect and restore the life on land. So first one, conserve and restore terrestrial and freshwater ecosystem. There are actually 12 points are there under these targets. 12 targets are there under life on land. I'm going to explain one by one. So first one, it's about terrestrial ecosystem. It's typically an ecosystem found on landform. 6 primary terrestrial ecosystem exist in the world that is called as tundra, taiga, temperature deciduous forest, tropical rainforest, grand glass and desert. So tundra in the sense, we can able to see this one in the mountain area. That means it is actually located in Arctic region, that is top of the mountain. We can able to see the snow. So I can see in Himalayan range, we can see in Africa some other range, and it is not in other part of the world. Only in one part, some area, Arctic, like that only in Himalayan range, we can see this particular type of tundra ecosystem. So here, actually, nowadays, due to the climate change, that it is changing, totally it is changing. Actually, the climate here is very extremely cold. Now we can see the differences. Second one, it's about taiga. Taiga is a forest. There, we can able to see plants and we can see some animals also. This is also, it is a Arctic region. It is also snowfall will be there. But here we can able to see some animals. We can able to see some animal. During some situation, in case of Himalayan range, from December to the month of March, we can able to find these particular taiga in India. At the same time, we can see in some other part in other country also. Another one, it is called as temperate deciduous forest, that we can able to see in every area. That means we can able to see some forest, some actually that there are different types of climate will be there, different season will be there. One is winter season, another side spring, summer and fall. This is called as we used to call as a temperate deciduous forest. Another last one, it is about topical rainforest that we can able to see in every year, every country we can able to see. Here we can able to find lot of species and plants and animals in that area. This is very common in every country. Another one, we are having grassland. That one, it's a background for my slide. It is a grassland and there is no that much plantation will be there. I can see, we can able to see very less plantation will be there in the grassland. And another one is called as desert. So in the desert, it is actually, we can't able to find Sahara desert like that. We can't able to find any plant, and it is not like we can't able to find any water resources also. So we are, that is the first, target. Second one, it's about, for that what we have to do. That is plantation tree everywhere and protecting them till they are grown up. Actually, what happened? We are having, actually God gifted with lot of varieties, type of ecosystem. But actually now, due to this pollution, each and every factor, it started reducing. These things we can able to change. Every day we can see in the newspaper, this climate is totally changing. So in this case, what we are going to supposed to do is planting trees every year and protecting them till they are grown up. Reusing solid waste in such a way that there is less burden on municipality and government agency to manage them. Then protecting water bodies such as river, pond, lakes, and wetland in the neighbor area. That is our main goal. The next one, it is about freshwater ecosystem. It includes lakes, pond, river, stream, spring, bogs, and wetland. So hereafter, here we have to be very careful. We have to safeguard all these things. Water is the core of sustainable development. It's very crucial for social development, healthy ecosystem, and for human survival itself. So water is very, very important. So it is a vital for reducing global burden of a disease and improving the health, welfare, and productivity of the population. So we have to be very careful when preserving water. And second target, it's about end deforestation and restore degraded forest. From this example, from this picture, you can able to identify. In case of Malaysia, the people, they are selling their rubber and they are exporting to other countries. From Himalayan range, they are exporting the teak to other countries. This is the data from the net. So here also, what we are supposed to do, plant a tree. There is no option, plant a tree. We have to use less paper, recycle the paper and cardboard, use recycled product, buy only sustainable wood products, reduce meat consumption, do not burn firewood excessively in order to, because otherwise we can't preserve this particular, the natural resources. The third one, it's about end desertification and destroy degraded land. It is like drought, because the monsoon failure, nowadays everywhere we can able to find the monsoon failure. Even in the African continent, they clearly mention monsoon failure. In each and every country, they are clearly mentioned about monsoon failure. So in this case, what we are supposed to do? What action we can take to prevent desertification? So integrating land water management to protect our soil from erosion, salinization, and other form of degradation. Protecting the vegetative cover, which can be major instrument for soil conservation against wind and water erosion. So this is the main thing we are supposed to do. The next one, ensure conservation of mountain ecosystem. How can mountain ecosystem can be restored? Reduce the use of items such as plastic and petroleum fuel. This can reduce the pollution up to certain level. This is the main thing, because nowadays the some area we can able to identify the mountain is totally destroyed. So how we can able to restore that one? That means we have to avoid plastic and petroleum fuel. Then we can reduce the pollution to some particular level. The next one is about, next target, it's about protect biodiversity and natural habitats. What is that biodiversity? You can see in the diagram itself, I have clearly shown that one. The species are reducing. So biodiversity or biological diversity is the multitude of living things that is make up a life on Earth. It is encompasses, that is 8 million species are there in the planet that we are living here. The animals like fungi, bacteria are there, and the ecosystem that the house that such as ocean, forest, mountain, environment, and coral reef. But we can able to see these species are reducing. So in this case, how we can able to protect biodiversity and natural habitats? Healthy ecosystem and rich biodiversity include increased ecosystem productivity. Each species in ecosystem has specific niche, that is role to play, support a large number of plant species and therefore greater variety of crop, protect freshwater resources, promote soil formation, and we have to protect them. That is the main thing. The next one, it's about promote access to generic resources and fair sharing of the benefit. What is that? Fair and equitable benefit sharing is one of the objective of UN Convention on Biological Diversity and International Treaty on Plant Generic Resources for Food and Agriculture. Actually, every government, they are conducting lot of fair in order to promote agriculture, and they are promoting seeds in order to help the farmers to cultivate. In essence of benefit sharing whole, that the country farmer and community can be able to get grant to plant genetic resources or traditional knowledge they are providing, and they can able to share the benefit that user can able to get in a very good manner. So every organization, like they are promoting, in case of in where I am living here, they are having in the monsoon, in the mango season, they are having called as mango festival. At the same time, in the Darjeeling also, they are having orange festival. They are promoting that agriculture, the main thing. So every country, they are promoting their access to genetic resources and fair sharing on their benefit. They have to actually we have to follow all this thing, otherwise what will happen? We can't able to protect our environment. This next one, it's about eliminate poaching and trafficking of protected species. Poaching is a threat not only of elephant, and sometimes other animals also, they are killed by so many people. Why it is very important to protect wildlife? That means once one statistic data is there, each 15 minutes an elephant dies because of poaching. See, if this particular rate is increasing in the trend, in the sense the African elephant will be, we can't able to find after 11 years. This is the statistics given by African Association of Wildlife. Then next one, how we are going to prevent invasive alien species on the land and in water ecosystem. How can we stop these species from entering into new ecosystem? So for that, we have to measure to prevent invasive plant spread, ensure vehicle and equipments are clean of invasive plant and seed, minimize solid disturbance in all construction and maintenance activity, promote the establishment of health plant community, limit the movement of weed infection, infested soil or gravel. That is the only thing we can able to do in order to protect our community. Integrated ecosystem and biodiversity in government planning. How does biodiversity in an ecosystem encourage sustainability? Biodiversity is essential for sustainable development and human well-being. I hope we have studied all this biodiversity. What are the things? It underpins the provision of food, fiber, and water. Then it provides the resilience to climate changes. It supports human health and provides jobs in agriculture, fishery, forestry, and many other sectors. So, how we can able to increase financial resources to conserve sustainability, to use ecosystem and biodiversity. Use more sustainable transport, like we have to walk, cycling, or public transport instead of car, because we can able to reduce the pollution. Buy wood only for sustainable sources and ask the seller if his supply is for sustainable sources. Finance and incentive sustainable forest management. At the social level, sustainable forest management contributes to livelihood, income generation, and employment. At the environmental level, it contributes to the important services such as reducing carbon and water, and we can able to get water, then soil and biodiversity conservation. So from this example, I hope you can able to understand. Then global poaching and trafficking. Poaching is an illegal trade in wildlife. Negatively, it is impacted towards that. So it is resiliences of ecosystem, human security across country and region, national wealth and ability of countries to generate employment, reduce poverty through tourism, and provide dependable livelihood through community-based natural resources. If we are going to follow all this thing. The next one, the last conclusion of my topic, it's about, as a part of the global ecosystem, ourselves, we need to conserve and we have to protect the plant and animal life on land. We have to reduce, we have to deforestation, and we have to improve the plant. We have to plantation should be there. We have to encourage this one, protect and preserve the ecosystem, and whatever the threats we are having, we have to reduce it. Then we have to reverse the land, degradation, and we have to protect biodiversity. Thank you for able to, I hope I explained each and everything. If you are having any doubt, you can ask the question. Thank you.
Yes, Asta, go on, please.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was an honor for all of us listening to you. So now we will proceed with the student paper presentation. And for the same, we have 3 students who will be presenting on today's board. I would like to welcome Fatosh from Selçuk University, Turkey.
You should call next speaker, maybe. Isn't it?
Okay.
No, Fatosh is here.
Yes,
Please.
Fatosh.
He is
Where?
here. Yeah, he is here.
Where? Is it Meral?
Mr. Fatosh?
Hello.
Hello, I am Meral Ödemiş. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Meral, şeyini yükle, sunumu yükle, sunumu.
Tamam hocam.
Mr. Saurabh, please give the permission to Meral.
Done, ma'am.
Mary, please continue.
Did you give, please, you should give permission to Manan to upload his presentation.
Evet, paylaştım.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Can you see? Can you
Yes.
see?
Yes.
Go on.
I am Meral Ödemiş, Harran University, Şanlıurfa, Türkiye'den katılıyorum. Today I will talk to you about biodiversity. Introduction. Biodiversity is the variety of life on Earth and includes variation at all levels of biological organization, from gens to species to ecosystems, genetic, organismal, and ecological diversity, or all elements of biodiversity, with each including a number of components. Biodiversity, in short, which includes all plants, animal, and microorganism species in place, in general consists of three main parts, from large to small. These are ecosystem diversity, species diversity, and genetic diversity. If an evolution is made from the past to the present, there are serious variations on the world's current biodiversity, mainly due to anthropogenic effects. Biodiversity forms the basis of ecosystem functioning. Material method. This study is for compilation purposes and has been created by collecting and gathering previous academic studies and searches. Researchers' findings. Types of biodiversity. Biodiversity, which is one of the important parameters of sustainable development and guarantees of human well-being. It consists of genetic diversity, species diversity, ecosystem diversity, and functional diversity. I will tell you briefly. Types of biodiversity. Genetic diversity. Genetic diversity is defined as the diversity of genus, both in population isolated from each other and belonging to species within the same population. Species diversity. Species diversity is the genetically similarity and mutual reproduction of a group of organisms and the emergence of productive creatures called species. Ecosystem diversity. It is an important system that includes living creatures living in a certain area and constantly interaction with each other and their non-living environment, encompassing the diversity at the society level and providing first habitat diversity and then species diversity. Diversity of ecological elements, functional diversity. It is the functional dimension of biological diversity. Functional diversity occurs as a result of interaction between the structure and process of ecosystem. Threats to biodiversity. One of the factors threatening biodiversity, destruction of pastures to obtain fertile land. Inadequate control and non-monitoring in the process of overfishing, collection of wild animals and birds, and hunting, uncontrolled collection, removal of medicinal plants and herbs, onions. Salinization of agriculture areas due to unproductive irrigation. Industrial and agricultural pollution, domestic waste. What measures can be taken to protect biodiversity? The Millennium Ecosystem Assessment lists at least the following future actions. They are particularly successful in reducing biodiversity loss and can be further strengthened. Protect areas, species protection and recovery measures for threatened species, preservation of genetic diversity, gen banks, ecosystem restoration, biodiversity and sustainable development. Sustainable development can be defined as increasing and improving the quality of life in harmony and balance with the ecosystems that human beings are a part of and provide the basic support for their survival. Basic components of sustainable development: economic viability, social equity, and environmental sustainability. Biodiversity is an indicator of the healthy environment and the ability of ecosystems to sustain the life support process essential for human well-being. Turkey and biodiversity. Turkey is the country with the richest biodiversity in Europe and the Middle East. It ranks 19th in terms of biodiversity in the European continent. Each of the 7 geographical regions of the country displays different climate, flora, and fauna characteristics. There are 351 fish species in fresh waters and 548 fish species in seas in Turkey. It is known that there are approximately 12,800 plant, 120 reptile, 465 bird, and 100,000 insect species. Biodiversity finance. Financial solution to conserve biodiversity can be in the forms of instruments, tools, strategies, and mechanisms related to generating revenue, avoiding future expenditures, delivering better conservation, and reeling expenditures to be more efficient. Biodiversity finance flows include private and public financial research used to conserve and restore biodiversity, investment in commercial activities that produce positive biodiversity outcomes, and the value of the transactions in biodiversity-related markets such as habitat banking. Data on biodiversity finance is difficult to track due to the opacity of certain transactions and lack of commonly understood definition. Public finance solution, government policies and budgets. Government policies and budgets. Governments play an essential role in financing biodiversity. Domestic budgets account for approximately 50% of the total invested in biodiversity annually. If official development assistance and biodiversity positive policies are added, the public sector accounts for 75% of all biodiversity expenditures. A study in Latin America and the Caribbean found that governments directly supported 16% of protected area management just on average. Integrating biodiversity targets into long-term strategic planning is one important means of assuring that biodiversity is adequately financed and supported by government fiscal and regulatory policy. Public finance management frameworks usually describe the rules governing tax, subsidies, fees, fines, intra-governmental transfers, monetary policies, debt management, budgeting, and regulatory mechanisms. Conclusion and suggestion. There are many reasons for preserving biological diversity. Thus, cultural, economic, etc. are the reasons. Biodiversity efficient and sustainable use and minimization of losses are important in terms of economy. Although preserving the existence of plant biodiversity and plant genetic researches on Earth has an ecological importance in terms of the sustainability of life on our planet. It shouldn't be forgotten that the products produced from the researches have an important market value, ranging between 500 and 800 billion USD. On the basis of the global economy, plans and programs for all sectors of biological diversity conservation should be gathered under a single roof. However, plans and programs specific to each region should be implemented. Conservative, sustainable policies should be established and implemented for all ecosystems and should be adopted by society. Traditional practices that protect biological diversity should be supported and maintained in order to continue. Financial resources allocated to studies on biodiversity conservation should be increased. Organic agriculture studies should be made widespread, protected, and supported. Studies on the economic evaluation of biodiversity should be of priority. The fact that loss of biodiversity and ecosystem destruction is among the 5 most likely risks to occur in the next 10 years shows you that the most valuable investment to be made in nature is to preserve biological diversity and protect rare and threatened species, living populations, and natural areas. For these reasons, they are aware that the studies will increase the awareness of the society. Thank you for joining.
Yes, okay, Ashta, please call the next speaker.
Thank you, Meryl, for your presentation. I want to ask that is Fatos in the meeting, so that for the presentation, paper presentation, or shall we move to the next presenter?
No.
I guess there is some technical issues at his end. So the next presenter, I would like to welcome Nene from Hungarian University of Agriculture and Life Sciences, Hungary.
Okay. Hi, let me just share my screen.
Hi.
Oh, please, can you allow me to share my screen? Let's see. Okay. Let me start.
Yes, yes.
Is it audible now? Should I turn on my camera or not? Is it fine? Okay, so I'm going to start. So I'm Sifisi Nene. I'm in the Hungarian University of Agriculture and Life Science. And basically, I'm just going to give you guys a brief overview of Africa's progress on SDG 15. So this is basically what I'm going to be discussing, the aim, a brief overview of the aim, how the SDGs correlate with Agenda 2063, worldwide progress, impacts, progress, obstacles, and the future of SDG 15 progress in Africa. So basically, the biggest aim for SDG 15 is to protect and restore life on land. And in order for us to have a flourishing life, we need to be able to sustainably protect our ecosystems and protect them from deforestation, loss of habitat, and land degradation. We need to do this for our own survival. Unlike the other SDGs, the target for this SDG was particularly supposed to be reached by 2020. However, the world is currently falling. Currently, the world is falling short despite the world is falling short on 2020 targets despite any progress that is being made. In the case of Africa, the least progress has been made with SDG 2 and 15 because forest loss remains high. Half of key biodiversity areas are under protection while progress has remained relatively slow, and biodiversity is declining at a very alarming rate. So to sum it all up, without biodiversity, as humans, we cannot exist, let alone develop. So looking at the worldwide progress before COVID, the world was already falling short on achieving most of the SDG 15 targets. Over 31,000 species are threatened with extinction, and 27% of those are already on the red list. Forest areas continue to decline at an alarming rate, and that is mainly driven by agricultural expansion. Each year, over 10 million hectares of forest are destroyed, and this is a figure between 2015 and 2020. Now, during COVID implications, wildlife trafficking disrupts ecosystems and contributes to the spread of infectious diseases. For example, pangolins, they are one of the animals that are thought to have transmitted the COVID virus. And however, there have been over 300,000 pangolins that have been seized globally between the time of 2014 and 2018. 2 billion hectares of land on Earth are degraded, affecting people. About 3.2 billion people are affected by this. And this is driving a lot of species into extinction and intensifying climate change. However, it's important to note that only a third of 113 countries are on track to achieve their national targets to integrate biodiversity into their national planning. Just to give a brief overview, this is a graph that is showing the progress of countries towards conservation of biodiversity. About 32% of parties are on track to achieve this, while only 50% have made any progress, and the remaining 7% have not made any progress towards achieving this. And we're going to now discuss Africa in more detail. So basically, what is Agenda 2063? Agenda 2063 is Africa's blueprint and master for transforming Africa into a global powerhouse. It's basically the Africa we want. It has 10, 15, 20, and 50-year plans in order to achieve these goals for Africa while aligning them with these sustainable development goals. In this particular situation, Aspiration 7 of the African Union Agenda 2063 deals with environmental sustainability and climate resilient economies and communities. This is directly in line with SDG 15 because it looks at how we can protect biodiversity, conservation, and sustainable natural resource management, how we can secure water security, and also climate resilience and disaster preparedness. So basically, one of the biggest issues that we have in Africa is forest degradation. The Congo Basin, which is the second largest tropical rainforest, covering about 200 million hectares of humid forest, is the biggest carbon sink that we have in Africa. And if we continue cutting it, it is going to reduce our carbon sink, continue ruining biodiversity, and destroy ecosystems and any habitats that we have for wildlife and humans. And then moving on to water ecosystems and scarcity. Over the last 50 years, the lake size that is shared by Niger, Chad, and Nigeria and Cameroon has decreased by 90%. As a result, this has caused extended droughts and overutilization. And this again falls under creating issues of biodiversity loss, ecosystem disruption, and a larger impact on any human development. So, looking at the progress that has been made, half of the countries in East Africa are on track to achieve Sustainable Development Goal 15. And the continent is doing well in protecting life on land, measured according to the proportion of sites significant for biodiversity that are protected. The only two regions that have a larger proportion of protected sites are Europe and North America. On average, Africa protects 46% of its important sites for terrestrial biodiversity, more than double of Asia. The target to ensure the conservation, restoration, and sustainable use of terrestrial and inland freshwater ecosystem is a reasonable one to achieve. 44% of countries already protect more than half of their important terrestrial areas, and policy can ensure protection of the remaining ones. This graph shows the significant efforts that have been made by different regions in Africa to reduce the degradation of natural habitats, halve the loss of biodiversity. As we can see, most parts of Africa, North, East, and West, are performing quite well as compared to Central and Southern Africa, where the net difference in terms of biodiversity protection has been less than 0.1% since 2000 actually, between 2000 and 2017. So, what are the key obstacles to achieving and tracking the SDGs in Africa? Firstly, data is only available for 40% of indicators laid out. This is making it very difficult to track any progress between the countries. Second, the SDGs continue to lack accountability mechanisms, including no mandatory reporting mechanisms for tracking progress. While a voluntary system exists, only 19 African countries have signed up and report on limited set of indicators. And also the non-binding mechanism for reporting the challenge and tracking progress has also made financing the SDGs difficult, with Africa facing an annual funding gap between $500 billion and $1.2 trillion. So moving forward, what can Africa do to further improve achieving this goal? Well, it could start firstly by developing a comprehensive technical guide for how governments can collect, analyze, and interpret SDG-related information and provide for associate capacity building. Also, we need effective governance to control any spillovers that is generated by high-income countries that are undermining other countries' ability to reach the SDGs. For example, with wildlife, most of our wildlife market with endangered species going from Africa to Asia. And this is also a call upon African countries to continue aligning their national development plans and budgeting processes with the 2030 agenda. Other regional frameworks such as Agenda 2063 and international frameworks. Also, countries in Africa need to be very committed to the land neutrality commitment, which will further improve reversing land degradation. And we need to have increased financial and technical support. Thank you. Thank you.
Questions?
Okay, Astha.
Okay, so shall we proceed, ma'am?
Yeah,
Yes.
continue.
Okay. So I would like to call Fatos once again. If you are here, please present your paper. Fatos.
Hi, I am Fatosh Yiğit. I am studying at Selçuk University.
You can present your presentation.
A flourishing life on land is the foundation Şu an okuyor muyum? A flourishing life on land is foundation for all life on this planet. We are all part of the planet's ecosystem and we have caused severe damage to it through deforestation, loss of natural habitats, and land degradation, promoting a sustainable use of our ecosystem. And preserving biodiversity is not a cause. It is the key to our own survival. Human life depends on the earth as much as the ocean for our sustenance and livelihoods. Plant life provides 80% of the human diet, and we rely on agriculture as an important economic resource. Forests cover 30% of the Earth's surface, provide vital habitats for millions of species, and important sources for clean air and water, as well as being crucial for combating climate change. While 50% of land is protected, biodiversity is still at risk. Nearly 7,000 species of animals and plants have been illegally traded. Wildlife trafficking not only erodes biodiversity but creates insecurity, fuels conflict, and feeds corruption. Urgent action must be taken to reduce the loss of natural habitats and biodiversity, which are part of our common heritage, and support global food and water security, climate change mitigation and adaptation, and peace and security. At the current time, 13 million hectares of forests are being lost every year, while the persistent degradation of dry lands has led to the desertification of 36 billion hectares. Even took up to 50% of land is currently under protection, biodiversity is still at risk. Deforestation and desertification caused by human activities and climate change pose major challenges to sustainable development and have affected the lives and livelihoods of millions of people in the fight against poverty. By 2020, ensure the conservation, restoration, and sustainable use of terrestrial and inland freshwater ecosystems and their services, in particular forests, wetlands, mountains, and dry lands, in line with obligation under international agreements. By 2030, combat desertification, restore degraded land and soil, including land affected by desertification, drought, and floods, and strive to achieve a land degradation neutral world. Promote fair and equitable sharing of the benefits arising from the utilization of genetic resources and provide appropriate access to such resources as international agreed. Take urgent action to end poaching and trafficking of protected species of flora and fauna and address both demand and supply of illegal wildlife products. By 2000, integrate ecosystem and biodiversity values in international and local planning, development process, poverty reduction strategies and accounts mobilize and significantly increase financial resources from all sources to conserve and sustainable use biodiversity and ecosystem. Thank you everyone for listening to me presentation.
आ गई मक्खी मेरे पास
Thank you,
जैसे ही
Fatosh.
मेरा बोलने का मन टाइम आया
So, shall we proceed?
यस आस्था
So, that was it for the student presenters. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Rashmi Gujarati ma'am for giving us some for giving us some valuable insights of the day.
Thank you very much, Astha, and my big thanks to Mr. Jeong. He has focused lot of things related with the goal 15, which is related life on land, and lot of things has been enlightened by him, and that will be very informative for our students. Second, Dr. Lina has also presented a lot of things, and through that, lot of information has been comes. Mr. Jeong has focused one word which was clicked in my mind. Where do we start goal 15? This is a very big question for us, and we have to understand when we talk about the goal 15, then from where we would have to start. As we know that the goal 15 is related with the protect, restore and promote sustainable use of protect, restore, sustainable use, ecosystem, sustainable manage forest, combat and desertification and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. Sustainable development manage forests, that we are talking about, that human life is depend on the earth as much as the ocean for our sustain and livelihood. Yesterday we have discussed related with the ocean, we have discussed the life below water, and now today we are talking about the land. It means that we are talking related with the environment, and we are saying that human life is, yesterday we were discussing that human life is depend on water, we need water. Same thing now again we are saying that the earth is a very important for us, for human being. The life is depend on the earth as we depend on the ocean. Plant life provides 80% of our human diets. If water is required, land is required, means that the agriculture is depend on the water. So the food can be, the crop can be fertilized with the help of the water. So what we are saying that 80% of our human diet is depends on the plant life. We rely on agriculture as an important economic resources and mean to develop. Yesterday, we talked about the blue economic. In the blue economic, we are saying that they are also giving employment. But here also, the agriculture is totally depend, and it is important for the economic resources. Means that it is giving a development in the economy. Another side, when we talk about the forest account for 30% of the earth surface, providing vital habitat of million of species and important sources for clean air, water, as well as being crucial for combating climate change. All things are depends on the forest. So today we are seeing that unprecedented land degradations and the loss of arable land at 30 to 35 times the historical rates. Drought and desertification is also on a rise every year, accounting to the loss of 12 million hectares and affect poor communities globally. And the sustainable development goal aim is what? Because we are discussing since first day about the sustainable development goal. So basically, we are going to understand the aim of each and every goal very deeply. We are going to understand this. So basically, it is depends on the conserve and resort the use of terrestrial ecosystem such as forests, wetlands, drylands, mountains by 2020. Promoting the sustainable agreement, sustainable management of the forest and halting deforestation is also vital to mitigations the impact of climate change. Urgent action must be taken to reduce to loss of natural habitats and biodiversity, which are part of our common heritage. So this goal has been taken by the UN, and the Sustainable Development Goal 15 is for the protecting, restoring, promoting, and for the forest combat. These all things are there in the Sustainable Development Goal 15. Now the points comes that Mr. Jong said, where do we start goal 15? So here is the point to understand, where are we in achieving sustainable development goal 15. Now the point is that when the question come one side, that where do we start? Now the point is, where are we in achieving sustainable development goal? So where are we have to understand this. The science is clear, and the alarm bell are ringing. Why? What alarm bell is giving? That don't use plastic, use reusable things. Why we are discussing about the biodiversity loss and destruction of ecosystem continue an unprecedented rate according to Red Light Index. The if we see that the recent intergovernmental science policy platform on the biodiversity and ecosystem services has launched in March present a worrying picture in all regions of the world. Furthermore, the World Economic Forum Global Risk Report is also saying that they have listed that ecological collapse together with the biodiversity loss among the top global risks in terms of impact. We are on the brink of crossing ecological boundaries and reaching tipping points in climate and ecosystem that might lead to an accelerate the planetary destructions. Humanity's Titanic is moving faster and faster. The iceberg is there. In 2018, the UN Secretary General report was in progress, and it has been mentioned in the report that the Sustainable Development Goal found that the progress in preserving and sustainable using the earth is terrestrial space and ecosystem in uneven. The number of protected forest areas under long-term management plans and voluntary certification has been increased. So the global community appear committed to conservation biodiversity from April 2017, and around 144 countries were there. Those who have been ratified the international treated on plant genetic resources for food and agriculture, and approximately 96 countries ratified the Nagoya Protocol on access to genetic resources and the fair, equitable sharing of the benefit arising from their utilization. But much more need to be done, because here is the question that where we are achieving to do for SDG 15. Here is the point that it is the response to indicate Sustainable Development Goal 15, which shows while commitments toward implementations are increasing, the indicators available on the state of life on land show decline. Now we are seeing that how it is declined. Solving this dichotomy between community and outcome in imperative. First, it is essential to understand what is continuing to implicate this decline, why this has been going on. We have to understand this, then we can bring the solution of this problem. Second, government need to provide enabling environment to support evidence-based policy making and development planning for this path. And third point, that government could exchange insights and experience on the innovation and solution to address biodiversity and development challenges. So these all steps should be taken by the government, and if the government help here, then it will be support on the goal 15. So goal 15 basically giving us a message that it is our responsibility. We have to save the earth. As we make the days of World Environment Day, we make the World Earth Day, we make the World River Day. Like this, all things are dependent on the earth, because it is related with the human being. When we think very deeply and when we try to understand about the Sustainable Development Goals, so there is a very deep theory. We have to understand this. This is a very short time we are giving, and very short lectures we are giving you. But if we go and enter in all Sustainable Development Goal, then it will be related that behind of these goal is not to save earth, not to save water, not to save ocean, not to save environment. They are going to save a human being, because we human wants these all things. If we are here in the earth, we want a place, we want environment, we want clear water, we want clear air, we want a fresh air, and no pollution should be there, clean water, and we need a food, and these all things comes from the agriculture. These all things are done, comes from the earth. So it is very important. So life on earth, land is important. Even Dr. Lina has shown us that how the elephants are facing the problem, how the Dr. Mr. Jong has given that about the forest, that what we are doing to making the buildings, we are cutting the forest. The forests are finishing from the earth. So these all things is very important for us, and we have to understand why for the oxygen we are saying that uh, plant for the plantation. Why these all days are related with the sustainable development goal, and in these goal every time that message is going to be us, message is given to us that this is our responsibility. This is not the responsibility of the government, this is not responsibility of any other person, this is our responsibility. If we each and every person will take the task to save this, then everything will be happen. At last, my big thanks to all my speakers, my students, those who have participated and given a very well presentation and focus on this. Because this time, if you have prepared your presentation, it means that you have studied, you have did a research. It means that when you have did the research, then you have read lot of things. Now, these things will be stay in your mind, and this is very important for each and everyone to learn about the UN Sustainable Goals 17. What are they, what they want to say, what they want to give us a message. Why it is important for the young generation? Because our young generation is our future. So it is the responsibility of our young generation to move toward the sustainable development goals and to follow all the informations which has been given in the sustainable development goals. So at last, my big thanks to each and everyone, all the students, those who are taking very good interest in participating here, students, those who are giving their presentation, and especially Asta. She was not well, but then also she is taking very well interest in on this platform. And well done, Asta. I
Thank
wish
you,
for
ma'am.
your bright future, and I hope that one day, a long time after, when we see you, we see that you are on the very good position. And all the best to all the students. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the speakers, Professor Quran, Professor Yogesh Chavda, and all other professors, those who are here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Asta.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your for enlightening us with your knowledge and inspiring words. This marks another end to UN Sustainable Development event, another day. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to Tradepreneur Global Academic Platform UK. I would like to give special thanks to the speakers and student presenters of the conference. Thank you everyone for joining it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Saurabh, we can wind up.
Okay, ma'am. Done.